Welcome to part one of Preseason Pass as we take a look at training camp here for the 2011 Sacred Heart Pioneers. And we're here with head coach Paul Gorham. And coach, this is your 8th training camp as you start your 8th season, and you're about a week in now. Let us know how it's going, what you've seen so far that you like, and how are the players responding as you get ready for that opener on September 3rd against Marist.
I think things are going pretty well. The kids have been great, the attitude's been sound, and as you would expect, certainly, you know, new year, new beginning and all that other stuff, and some of the younger kids that we brought in are starting to show up and show that they may be able to contribute, and some kids that didn't get much playing time last year are getting into, you know, roles where it's going to be good for us, and we're excited about what's going on right now.
Coach, the one question I'm sure you get asked quite often, and I've heard a few times myself, is Dale Fink's gone, and how do you replace him? So I'll ask you, what do you do? How do you replace a guy who broke every record that you in the school history and some Northeast Conference records as well?
Yeah, Timmy or Luke. You know, one of the two of them. The circle of life. You know, things go on, particularly in college football, and you get that 4-year window. And Dale did a great job for us. And, you know, he redshirted as a freshman, played the last 4 years, and did real well, and put up some good numbers. But these kids are both redshirt sophomores, 3 years left. They know the system, anything that's gone in on any day. They know what's going on. So.
Do you think that's something that's going to carry all through camp? You're going to just let it ride out all the way before you make a call for that first game?
Yeah, we got a couple more scrimmages, and you know, see who shows up in one of those, and maybe someone will separate themselves and give it that chance. And then if not, they're going to make a difficult decision. But it's a good one to have to make. I think both of them are capable, both of them are running real well, getting some timing down with the receivers, and we're trying to split the reps up evenly. We alternate who's running with the first team every other day or every other practice, and they're good. They know it's a competition, and competition, you know, breeds success. So hopefully it'll work out for us.
Coach, now we're previewing the running backs and linebackers today, but with previewing the running backs, you know, will the focus shift more to the running game this year than it maybe has in the past? It's been 2 years since you've had a 1,000-yard rusher, and you guys have been last in the conference in running ball the last few years. Will that be a focal point of this camp and this season? And in so, I mean, you know, is there a guy right now that's standing out, or is it something like you're looking to get a few different people some touches and see what works?
Well, it's the same thing. We've usually had a two-back rotation going on with us and with Dale. You know, if I can throw it and get 10 yards, I feel more comfortable doing something like that. I think for quarterbacks that haven't played a lot, the ability to run the ball makes it much easier for them to get acclimated and get their feet wet within the course of a season. So in a perfect world, yeah, we'd like to be able to run the ball better. But, you know, Greg eBay is probably going to be our starter right now coming out of camp. And, you know, we've got a couple of kids behind him that have shown flashes here and there. And if they can keep improving there, we'd like to run the ball. It takes some of the pressure off those kids those first few games for sure, until they cut their teeth a little bit.
And with breaking in, you know, a new quarterback, you guys do have some weapons to catch the football, especially Rich Rossi, who was an all-conference player last year. It looks like he's going to move to the tight end pretty much full-time this year. And some other guys on the outside that can catch it, so that's got to ease that kind of transition, I'm sure.
Well, they make very few mental mistakes, you know, which is, we get very coverages from our guys, and they do a good job making the conversions and all that, and help our quarterback out considerably, and Richie's done a great job. You know, we got Sean Kessler at X and JoJo Jamil, and a couple of young kids are showing up too, and Robert Dim, and so we're happy about where those guys are, and hopefully again they, like everybody else, keep improving and give us a chance. And with Gary Cole's there, I think we're as good as we've been at the receiver position.
On the defensive side of the ball, we're going to talk to Coach Nofri today and talk about the linebackers. And one of the guys he got there is Chris Manis, who's a preseason all-conference pick and a guy who's been a starter for you pretty much almost since he stepped on the campus. Talk about, I know he's been named a captain along with Rich, I believe, right?
Yeah.
Talk about what he brings to this defense, you know, and as a leader, not only on the field but off it as well.
Yeah, he just got an outstanding work ethic. He came in enjoying the time in the weight room and conditioning, and works at it very hard every day. And it was almost a unanimous choice. But the kids had voted on the team for him as captain, and so that made it easy for us. You know, as coaches, you have an opinion who you think may be the leaders of your team, and you hope it coordinates with what the kids think. And when they picked him to the degree that they did, we were comfortable with the whole thing. And so he's got the leadership, he's got the respect of the kids, and everything else filters off of that. When one of your better players is your best worker, it makes the coaching part of it much easier.
And where is the defense at this point in the camp? I mean, I know you got a lot of experienced guys back, guys who've played in this system before and been on the field. So where are they at this point, and how do you feel about them heading into the season?
I think we're doing all right, but you know it's always hard to gauge when you're practicing against yourself and you do the same, you know, you're playing the same people every day and the same route. So preparing week to week for different teams and schemes is certainly different. But the biggest thing that you have to bring and get out of fall camp is attitude. And the attitude's been outstanding. We haven't had a flat day yet. Now we're heading out for practice right now. It's about 80 some odd degrees out, so we'll find out what they're like here this evening. But we've been good up until this point and just run around. We're going to make mistakes, but if we make aggressive mistakes, you can cover some things up, and maybe people don't find it. So I'm happy with where we're at, but again, it's really, excuse me, hard to gauge.
All right, Coach. Well, we'll talk to you again, I'm sure, before we head to that opener on Saturday, May 3rd against Marist. So thank you for the time.
Thanks, Billy.
All right, let's head over to Sean Ihaz, who's got assistant coach Tyler Whitley as he previews this year's running back core.
Back here on part one of the SHU football preseason pass, we're now here with Tyler Whitley in his second season with the Pioneers, graduate assistant coach, and works primarily with the running backs. And Coach, we're really going to jump right into it. The team this year looks like it's going to be more run-based than has been a while, of course, with the with quarterback Dale Fane graduating, so new quarterback in the backfield for the Pioneers. So really a lot more responsibility could fall onto your running backs. What's the unit's mindset heading into the season?
I think our guys are really excited to carry the load. You know, we're really excited to run the ball. We know we're going to put emphasis on the running game, and we're going to have to get the job done.
And really speaking, getting the job done, right now the top running back in camp looks like it's going to be Greg eBay. And Greg had a great start to the season last year and really showed a lot of potential. What can we expect from him this season, and is he going to get more touches?
He was a freshman last year. He's a true sophomore this year. He played a lot, kind of throwing screens to him, played a little wide receiver in our empty package. Yeah, Greg is a redshirt sophomore. He played a lot last year for us. I think he gained almost about 500 yards for us. He's pretty dynamic running back, has some shake. He can do everything for us, pass protect, he can catch the ball. He's a little dinged up, but he should be back to full strength very soon. And I think we're excited to have him in the backfield, handing the ball, and see what he can do for us.
Also in the backfield, you're going to have Greg Moore. He mostly played a wide receiver last season. So how is he going to fit into your backfield as a running back, and what's his role going to be?
Yeah, Greg played, he was a freshman last year. He's a true sophomore this year. He played a lot, kind of throwing screens to him, played a little wide receiver in our empty package. Greg's a quick, fast, dynamic athlete. We're going to try to get him the ball in space a little bit. Greg's more of between the tackle runner, but he can get outside as well. But Greg's really tough to take down, so we like to get him the ball maybe on some screens and some outside runs, things like that.
Your top two fullbacks in camp right now are Tim McNeil and Ethan Ostermeyer. Hope I'm saying both those names right. Ostermeyer, at least. What are some of the qualities that each of them will bring to your backfield?
I think, well, Ethan came over from linebacker spot. He played actually a lot at linebacker last year. He's a tough kid. He's physical. He's athletic. He can really catch the ball a little bit. We do throw the ball to our fullbacks a bunch. I think he's going to be an excellent player for us back there. He's starting to pick it up pretty well. Tim's been in the system for a while. Knows everything cold. He's an excellent player. He's a little undersized, but he's a tough kid as well. And he can catch the ball and do some things with the ball in his hands, not to mention blocking.
Okay, and just one more question for you. Are there any brand new faces in the Pioneer backfield that we can expect to make an immediate impact?
Yes, we have a true freshman, Kashada Spence, who's from Dorchester, Mass, PG'd at the Taft School, which is actually my alma mater. But he's big, physical, about 5'10", 235-pound, power runner who I think who can make an impact for us.
Thanks for the time. Good luck this season.
Thank you very much.
And now we're going to head back to Bill Peterson. He's going to talk to associate head coach Mark Nofri.
Back on the Sacred Heart Football preseason pass for 2011, and I'm here with Coach Nofri, the associate head football coach in his 18th season here with the Pioneers. And Coach, you handle the linebackers. But before we get to that, let's talk a little bit about training camp. You guys are in your second week. Talk to me about how it's gone so far and where the guys are at.
Well, it's going pretty good so far. We have our bumps and bruises here and there, and Coach Gorm's doing a nice job of rotating through when we're in full, when we're in helmets, and when we're in shells. So we're giving kids the time that they need to rest and get off their feet. But other than that, I think we're in pretty decent health right now, and kids are coming along. We're seeing kids progressively get better each day, and that's our goal to get to the end of the camp where we're almost 100% healthy, and the kids get better from the day they started.
And like we mentioned, you're coach of the linebackers, and we're previewing the linebacking core today. So let's talk a little bit about that. And you have a star, I guess, in the making, or a star already, leading that position in senior Chris Mandis. He's a preseason All-Northeast Conference pick. He's a 3-year starter, and he's led this team in tackles for 2 straight years. Talk a little bit about Chris as a player and what he means to this defense and what he brings to the field each time out in practice and in games.
Well, Chris is, he's obviously a great player for us. He's been a starter since, I think, game 3 or 4 of his freshman year. Chris came all the way from Mission Viejo, California. And like I said, since his freshman year, probably game 3 or 4, he's been our starter. I can't remember him missing a game since then. He's been in every single game and started for us and led the team. He's kind of like he's the one that makes us go. The kids enjoy him. They respect him. He brings a lot of energy to the defense. And I tell the linebackers, I said, we got to set the tone, and Chris does that. And recently he was just voted captain for the 2011 season by his teammates. And Chris is a good player, and there's no doubt about it. He'll be one of the better ones I've ever had here when it's all said and done. And like I said, he's banged up a little bit right now, but he should be fine by the time season starts. And we're looking forward to him having a big year for us in the senior year.
And Chris, like you said, it does carry on a tradition that you guys have had of really good, solid inside linebackers. Another guy playing next to him who's been a starter here for a couple of years too is Mike Zambrano, who played early on special teams and, like I said, has been a starter. So talk about him, and then talk about some of the depth behind those two guys inside.
Well, we recruited Mike in, his freshman year. He was kind of rotating in like a role player and has been on most of the special teams. Ended up starting, I think, the last 2 games of his sophomore year. Did a nice job. And then last year he was a starter with Chris. Those two are they're kind of in the same mold. They both fly around. They're not real big guys, but they're tough, physical guys, and they get to the ball. And Zambo makes plays. Once in a while, he'll blow an assignment here or there, but the kid finds a way to the ball, and he makes plays for us. And he was one of the guys. Again, when I tell the linebackers, you got to get things going, and everybody feeds off of you. And Zambo's one of those high-energy guys that flies around and makes plays, and I'm looking for him to have a big senior year as well. This will be his 2nd season as a full-time starter.
Talk about another playmaker you guys have on the defense, a guy at the outside position, and Nico Sierra, who I thought last year did a great job. He had a lot of tackles for losses, but he also, in pass coverage, I think he led the team or co-led the team in passes defended.
Yeah, Nico's a great athlete for us. I recruited him out of Longmeadow, Massachusetts, and I remember going up with Coach Gorm and one of our other assistants at the time, watching him play basketball 2 or 3 times during the recruiting process. And you're talking about a kid that's 6'3", 220, that is one of the faster kids on the team. It's just an unbelievable athlete, and he's kind of been starting since the middle of his freshman year as well, and he's only going to be a junior for us. So we're expecting high things from him as well. And like I said, he's a playmaker for us, and he does great things for us. As far as the depth at the inside position, I got a kid, Justin Sexton, also from California, who'll be a sophomore, who played quite a bit last year as a true freshman, and Matt Colucci, who's a redshirt sophomore, who will be, was in the rotation last year a little bit and played on special teams, who, again, this year will be in the mix. So, we feel good about what we have on the inside, and Nico Sierra, like I said, with him, Chris Mandis, and Mike Zambrano, 2 seniors and a junior that have all played more than 2 years and been on the field for us. That's one of the positions on our defense that we're expecting big things from.
All right, Coach. Well, thanks for a few minutes today. I'm sure we'll catch up with you again as the year goes on, and good luck the rest of camp. And check back on Thursday as we have part 2 where we preview the quarterbacks and defensive linemen.